2020 saw the renaissance of the Doctor Who action figure line, bringing us a plethora of releases, a wave of 13th Doctor figures, more classic Tardis sets, tweaked Big Finish sets, companions we could only dream of seeing being released, and a new line beginning documenting the history of the Daleks, with even an online exclusive. With all these releases, what better way to celebrate than to do a top 10 documenting my favourite figure sets of 2020. Kicking this top 10 off with a History of the Dalek set, but which History of the Dalek set will it be? It is the History of the Dalek set, number 1, the Dead Planet Dalek set. I just love the Dead Planet Daleks. There's something incredibly special and sacred about these Daleks to me, especially when I was a kid. And maybe because they're the first ever Daleks, there's something quite special, and I just feel like they're very sort of sacred Daleks in a way. And the Dead Planet Dalek figures were very sought after, with them being released in the 2008 Dalek Collector Set 1, and then in 2014 part of the Sound Effects Dalek lineup. In 2020 saw Character release a new line of figures in the form of the History of the Dalek sets, giving us Dalek figures from each Dalek story. And this has been slightly tweaked and updated from the previous Dead Planet Daleks. I have reviewed all the figures that will feature on this list. I'll leave a link in the description below to my Doctor Who figure review playlist so you can check out my full thoughts. Now these Daleks are brilliant. They've got this very vibrant, bright, shiny silver, which gives them this great metallic look to them, much like what we saw on the Silver Nemesis Cybermen back in 2019. The little addition of the smaller pupil makes this Dalek look incredibly menacing, and I think it's probably the best the smaller pupils look. It just looks like the Dalek staring into your soul. It's just brilliant. The little addition of the lines on the back just makes it feel like a little miniature prop model of a Dead Planet Dalek, with the lines being there to indicate, oh, can Dalek 2 move over to that control bank or whatever. It's just a great little addition. The little frosted dome lights are a really nice touch, and a really great little set to army build. You can really army build the Dead Planet Daleks, and I just really love this set. So at number 10 we have the Dead Planet Daleks. At number 9 we have, oh my giddy aunt, it's the Second Doctor and the TARDIS from the War Games. Now this is a beautiful set because it gave people finally an opportunity to get the Second Doctor from his actual era, because all the other Second Doctor figures bar the 2009 Forbidden Planet exclusive were Troughton figures based from his stories, what weren't from his actual era. So this gives people an actual chance to get an authentic 1960s Troughton figure based from his appearance in the War Games. So we've got a slightly more worn and battered Second Doctor with a slight wash to show that he's been running through no man's land. We've got the rip on the trouser, very nice little attention to detail, and a great repaint of the Troughton figure, and I really do love it. The weathering on the jacket really does highlight the detailing and the creasing of the actual figure, which I love. The TARDIS for me is the main standout for this set because we have the new lamp, which is brilliant, this new sort of lamp housing, which to me this TARDIS just seems like a little 60s model you would see back in the 1960s, like you'd see the TARDIS land on the sea and through from the deep. It just looks like a miniature TARDIS you would see them use back in the 1960s. The great little attention to detail of the different sign on the other side with the white background, where the others have the more darker background. The TARDIS colour, this is a very interesting point to note, that it's sort of this greyish blue, and it's very deceptive. In some lights it looks blue, others it looks quite sort of greyish, and it looks great next to your black and white Second Doctor figure if you have it. I think to improve this set it would have been nice just to have a little bit more blue paint in it. I get what character options are trying to do with it. Maybe we could see like an Enemy of the World TARDIS with the sign on the other side of the door, and maybe a salamander figure. That would be great, like an Enemy of the World set, but we'll probably just see a clean version of this Second Doctor figure if they do that. But this is a beautiful TARDIS because it just looked like a little miniature 60s TARDIS model, and I absolutely love it. At number 8 we have the Jungles of Mechanus Dalek set. Yes, quite surprising because you'd expect this Dalek set to be a bit lower down the list, but you know what? We're full of surprises on this channel. So yes, here we have the movie Daleks. Sorry, not movie Daleks, the Jungles of Mechanus Daleks. Because of a clever loophole, character options were able to release these Dalek figures because they feature in the chase. It's very much blink and you'll miss them, but because of that clever loophole, we can get movie Daleks, well, these Daleks. For character option to actually do movie Daleks, they'd need the studio canal, license. So these Daleks very much took every Doctor Who figure fan by surprise, and they are just brilliant. They sold out. They were a Character Options online exclusive. Now Character Options have done a few online exclusives before, but this was a really great success. You know, all 5,000 sets sold out. The new dome lights are incredibly beautiful. The ridge detailing, it's just fantastic. The bluey silver body, you know, it makes it very sort of accurate, because even the Product Enterprise movie Daleks, what they did were just based in silver, but this has the bluey silver finish, and they just look great. They really do make your shelves pop, and they look great next with the Second Doctor and TARDIS, and they just feel very quintessential 1960s Daleks, and they're just so beautiful. You know, they just pop off the shelf with the baby blue fender. It is just a really great figure, really great Daleks, and so much so I bought 2 sets because I just love them. They are great Daleks, and I love them because I do love the Peter Cushing movie Dalek figure. And who would have thought it, 2020 would have movie Daleks, sorry, not movie Daleks, Jungle the Mechanist Daleks, you know, 2020, full of surprises and brilliant Daleks. At number 7, continuing the brilliant Dalek theme and the chase theme, we have the History of the Dalek set, number 3. Now this is my favourite History of the Dalek set they've done so far. It's a set what you can easily army build, so if you're an army builder, you can easily army build this set. The Chase Guard Dalek figure, a highly sought after figure, you know, only released in the Sound Effects Wave 2 back in 2014, so this was a great opportunity for people to finally pick up this great little one-off background Dalek. And, you know, to think back in 2014, that would be the closest thing we would ever get to a movie Dalek, and there we go, we got it, which is just beautiful. The reason why this set is a little bit higher than the Mechanist set is because I personally think the blue on the Chase Guard Dalek figure is way more accurate, because this has sort of a purple tinge to it, so I feel like this is more of the correct colour scheme the movie Dalek should have been, but it is beautiful, and I do love the Chase Guard Dalek figure. Dalek variant I've loved. It's a little Dalek oddity what I just love. And then we have the more accurate William Hartnell 60s Chase Drone Dalek figure with the updated Egg Cup dome light. We have the smaller pupil, but it doesn't look too bad actually, does it? It does look very much like a Power of the Daleks Dalek. You can easily see Character Options just swapping the gun over and calling it a Power of the Daleks Dalek. We have the more vibrant silver. Again, it just makes the Dalek figure pop incredibly well. We have the updated Dalek eye stalk with the correct rings, and it is just a really great Dalek figure and a great little army builder. And I do love more 60s Dalek drones because, you know, everybody loves the 1960s Daleks. At number 6 we have, mustache, the 5th Doctor and TARDIS from The Visitation, a set many Doctor Who fans have been wanting ever since they saw the 5th Doctor TARDIS prototype back in 2010. But let's talk about the 5th Doctor figure now. Now 2020 continues the theme of re-releasing hard to get figures in the form of the 5th Doctor with hat, what was released in the Planet of Fire set. And this is a great updated 5th Doctor version, and probably the most accurate 5th Doctor figure in his season 19/season 20 costume, because we have the correct pattern on the jumper. The paint taps just feel incredibly sharp and crisp, and it just really does pop with the great sort of off-white colours, the bright white vibrant jumper. It really does pop alongside the TARDIS, and the paint taps on the face for the 5th Doctor are brilliant as well. Really great likeness to Peter Davison. It is a really great vibrant 5th Doctor. Now the TARDIS, utterly stunning. Ever since the Cave Randrasani TARDIS was released, I was longing for a proper 80s box to be, you know, all clean and pristine, and this is just beautiful. The slight weathering on the lower half of the TARDIS is brilliant, really does bring out the detailing of the actual TARDIS prop itself, and it just looks brilliant. The very nice shade of blue, the gold door lock just really pops on this TARDIS, and it's just beautiful. I really do love this TARDIS. It's one of my favourite TARDISes, and it just looks absolutely stunning, and to finally have it, you know, I've waited 10 years to get a 5th Doctor TARDIS, and here it is, you know, with slight weathering. Oh, it's just beautiful. I love it. And it's one of my favourite classic TARDISes B&M and Character Options have ever done. It's just really stunning and is a great addition to your Doctor and TARDIS lineup. At number 5 we have Who You Calling Small? The Ace and Imperial Dalek set, one of the last figure sets to be released of 2020, and what a figure set it is. So let's take a look at Ace. Now, this Ace figure is a vast improvement on the 2013 release. Now, I'll leave a little card thing there in the top corner to check out the review, because I've done a comparison of the original 2013 Ace to this new version, and the likeness is so much more better. The paint apps are so much more refined on it, and it just looks like Sophie Aldred compared to the original one. It's just a much more better likeness. It's amazing what better refined paint apps can do to make the likeness really pop a little more. The detail on the badges is great. The choice of accessories with the RPG and the rucksack, great little inclusion, because normally you don't get accessories in B&M figure sets. So it's great that we get the addition of some accessories. Moving on to the Imperial Dalek. The Imperial Dalek is really stunning. Again, a highly sought after figure, and it's great for people to finally get the Imperial Dalek figure with the updated paint apps with a more bronzy gold finish to the gold livery. It just really does pop. We have the updated eye to have the gold dot instead of the blue, what was released on the other Imperial Daleks. In certain lighting, it does look like it has a sort of a black finish instead of a silver background, but I really do like it. It really does make the gold pop with having that sort of darker background. We do have the incorrect sort of mesh with the grating effect, but that's due to character changing the mold. It doesn't really bother me. It's not very noticeable, as you can see. It's barely noticeable on camera, but it is really beautiful and a great set to get, because if you have the original Ace, then this is definitely worth picking up because of the refined paint apps. And the Imperial Dalek, this is probably the best Imperial Dalek figure character options have done. We have the correct eye sculpt. It's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful set, and I really do love the Ace and Imperial Dalek set. And number 4, we have Greyhound 1 to Trap 1. We have the Unit 1971 Claws of Axos set featuring Sergeant Benton, the Brigadier, and Captain Mike Yates. As a massive Third Doctor fan, this little Ben's dream set to have the Unit family almost complete, to have Sergeant Benton. Now, the likenesses are really superb. This is a dead ringer to John Levine. The likeness for this is fantastic. The paint apps really do bring out the sharp sculpting detail by character options, with a little addition of the Unit badge there. It's brilliant, the little detail of the Sergeant motif there. The slight wash on the uniform's great, really giving that sort of worn and washed out look of the costume. But like I said, the likenesses are what makes this superb. Dead ringer to John Levine. Really stunning. Then we have the slightly tweaked Brigadier variant, what was released in the Claws of Axos set back in 2014. I personally do prefer the original Claws of Axos Brigadier, but it's a great little addition because we have the more accurate brown gloves as seen within the story, and the dirty wash to really highlight the woolen detail of the Brigadier's jumper. And of course we have the Captain Yates figure as well. Again, very good likeness to Richard Franklin as well, but the Sergeant Benton figure is a really highlight. Again, great detailing on the uniform with that worn, washed look. We do have a slight variation between Benton and Yates in the form of the lighter pouches on Captain Mike Yates, and of course we do have the classic Unit insignia there, which is great. And it's just a really lovely set. As a person who's a massive fan of the Third Doctor era, with it being my favourite era of the show, it just feels great and looks wonderful to finally have Sergeant Benton and Captain Yates with your Third Doctor and Joe Grant figure. Has just made the inner child within me incredibly happy to finally have these characters in action figure form. At number 3 we have Once, Twice, 3 Times a Lady. Yes, we have the companions of the 4th Doctor set. Now again, much like the Unit set, this has been figures we could only dream of seeing. A classic Sarah Jane based from her appearance in the End of Genesis of the Daleks and Revenge of the Cybermen, Romana based from her appearance in the Pirate Planet, and Romana 2 based in her appearance in Destiny of the Daleks. Now this is a brilliant set. The classic Sarah Jane figure is utterly stunning. Great likenesses to Elizabeth Sladen. This is one thing what I really can commend character options in 2020 is the likenesses. The likenesses are superb. The detailing is brilliant, especially on the hair. It's just a really great figure and looks wonderful next to your Harry Sullivan and 4th Doctor figure. Romana 1, played by Mary Tam, a figure I never thought I would have. I could only wish of having a Mary Tam Romana, and here we are. We finally have her. The hair detail is fantastic with a light brown wash really highlighting the hair detail. Now I do personally prefer the Power of Kroll Romana over the Pirate Planet Romana personally, but I think that this set just automatically wins because you've got more of the iconic look of the companions with Sarah Jane and Romana. This is a good little close approximation using the Claudia Brown body to give us the Mary Tam Romana. Again, brilliant figure. I do love Romana 1, one of my favourite companions. Then we have Romana 2, based from Destiny of the Daleks, a very iconic look, you know, with it mimicking the 4th Doctor outfit. A very good, clever use of using a Sarah Jane Adventures figure body. Brilliant likeness again to Lala Ward. Again, great hair detail. It is just a superb figure and it's just great, you know, the little new scarf. It's just wonderful and looks great next to your Tom Baker figure, and it's just lovely to have more classic companions, and I think that this is going to be a thing we're going to see over the next couple of years, more classic companions. And I have to say that this is a stunning set, brilliant likenesses to amazing characters from the show, and like I said, we could only wish of having these figures, and here they are finally in the Doctor Who figure line. At number 2 we have Haroun. Yes, alright, Agadora chap, we have the 3rd Doctor and TARDIS from the Monster of Paladin. Yes, it would be wrong, me being a Pertwee based channel, not having a 3rd Doctor figure on the list. Now this is an utterly stunning set and a vast improvement on the Time Monster set released back in 2018, which began the resurgence of the Doctor Who classic figure lineup. Now the paint apps on the 3rd Doctor are utterly brilliant, especially the paint apps on the face. It really does, you know, show how brilliant the character options got the sculpt of John Pertwee, you know, the slight bags under the eyes, you know, the lines on the face there, it's just great. Even the slight sort of jawline as well, it is brilliant, you know, the slight curling detail on the sideburns. It's just probably the best paint apps we've ever seen on a 3rd Doctor figure, you know, the little crow's feet there. It is just really great. Best paint apps I've ever seen on a 3rd Doctor figure. The costume is great with this great emerald green jacket. I know in my review I complained about the shirt being incorrect because it should be more of a darker green instead of a mint green, but it's a really great little close approximation of Pertwee's costume in the Monster of Paladin. The hair sculpt's great with a slight sort of blonde wash over it, but it is a really great 3rd Doctor figure and one of my favourite 3rd Doctor figures, especially the paint apps are stunning. The TARDIS, even though it's not accurate, I love it. It's just this very great vibrant blue with the inverted signs with a white background. It just makes it pop. With slight weathering really brings the sculpt of the TARDIS. You know, this set just seems like something you'd see out of an annual. The TARDIS being this more vibrant, bright blue, it just really does pop on the shelf and you're instantly drawn to it. And if you picked up the companions of the 3rd and 4th Doctor, then you can put your Monster of Paladin Sarah Jane next to it, and it just looks utterly stunning. This is my favourite B&M TARDIS character options have done. The 3rd Doctor variant's lovely, the great vibrant TARDIS. It is just an absolute beautiful set. So we've reached the number 1 spot. So what is my favourite Doctor Who figure to be released in 2020? Now this is going to be quite a surprising one. It is the Reconnaissance Dalek, part of the 13th Doctor figure wave at the start of the year. So a lot of you are probably wondering why is this your favourite figure? Well, this figure has something over the others. Now the other figures on this list have been slight retools, repaints and just slight variants of figures we already have. This figure is a completely new sculpt and it is utterly stunning, and it's the most articulated Dalek figure we've seen in the line. We've got obviously the dome, the eye stalk, the plunger, well the claw in this case, the gun, and we do have midsection rotation and the standard Dalek wheels. You know, they didn't have to put midsection rotation, but it just makes the figure even more, you know, desirable, you know, because you can recreate the scene of the Dalek destroying the tank and the soldiers. This figure just has so much playability. You know, the addition of the little panel what just lifts down, and you have the little mutant, so you can put the mutant inside. And one of my favourite figures as a kid was the Dalek mutant reveal, and to have that is great. The mutant is a really nice little accessory. The detail on it is wonderful, really does recreate the mutant what we see in a resolution with the various different paint apps to really highlight and accentuate the detailing. Detail wise, this is a really stunning figure. As you can see, we've got the different sort of brown and sort of copper finish to it to give it that sort of worn and rusty look to it, and the slight sort of silver dry brushing when you catch it in the light. just looks really stunning, and there's just something about this figure what I just love, and I'm just instantly drawn to when I'm sort of rearranging the figure shelf. I just have to pick this figure up and look at it because it is just really stunning and one of the best figures character options I've produced in a long time. You know, it's a new sculpt, so I think that's got to be in consideration for this, why it's so high on this list, because, you know, it's a completely new sculpt, it's not a variant. You know, like I said, the silver brush, dry brushing on it really does help accentuate the detail, giving that sort of junkyard, scrap yard Dalek feel to it. With red really does pop on the figure, really does make it look like it's alive, and I just love this Dalek figure. I really do love it. You know, the rusty detail, the different paint apps to really help accentuate and bring out the sculpting detail. You know, the little addition of the dome lights is just a really great figure. I can't put into words of how brilliant this figure is. The detail is superb and just has a lot of playability. There we have it, my Doctor Who top 10 figure sets for 2020. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please do like and subscribe for more Doctor Who figure related content, and please do comment down below what your favourite figures were from the 2020 line of Doctor Who figures. So thank you very much for watching this video. I'll probably do a 2021 top 10 list next year. So thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you next time for more Doctor Who related content, whatever that will be. So thank you very much, and goodbye.